We're going on almost 5 months since the start of next-gen gaming, more specifically next-gen 2K gaming. And it really doesn't feel like it. Current gen is still alive and well with next-gen gamers even switching back to it. So how did we go from the glorious launch of NBA 2K14 for Xbox One and PS4 to whatever you can call NBA 2K21 next-gen that has people slandering the game on Twitter almost every day and failing to meet the expectations placed upon it as a next-gen sports title? Let's find out. Now, before we dig into next-gen 2K as it currently stands, let's talk about the expectations it had coming into it. Having to live up to the ghost of 2K14 was real, when graphical leaps were more noticeable, and in the current landscape, being the first next-gen sports game to be released and the only one that attempted a legit leap over its current-gen counterpart. It basically was up to 2K to show us what next-gen sporting games was all about. The community was craving a brand new neighborhood, we got that. Overhauled My Player Builder, we got that. Updated graphics, not as big of a jump as 2K14, which is to be expected, but still, we got that. So with all that, why are players still not feeling what next-gen has to offer? Well, like it or not, sports games in the year 2021 are largely played online. So despite the offline portion of the game being miles better, especially when you can tailor the settings just right to your liking, online is where the game is played the most and also where next-gen begins to fall apart. So let's talk about the major issues with next-gen that got gamers scratching their head. Now, I think the biggest reason to the reaction of next-gen 2K has been the much anticipated The City. As people started getting tired of the neighborhood, 2K21 on current gen gave us the beach, while next gen gave us the city. While amazing in theory, it was built without a bunch of the little things that would make a map this large in scale consistently enjoyable for the average gamer. So it's really big for no reason. This ain't Grand Theft Auto. They try to add NPCs to help mask the fact that it's like nobody on the map, but no. It takes forever to get from store to store is ridiculous. Also needs to somehow allow more players in each server because you barely see anybody actually in the map because of its size. I'm sure there's people out there that love how realistic it is, open world, all that, but it's just nothing but an inconvenience to spawn on one side of the map when most of the things you need to do are on the opposite end. Then the reintroduction of affiliations was done all wrong. It's extremely limiting in the fact there's no reward for playing people from other affiliations because you get penalized with slower rep for doing so. So it's dividing an already smaller player base even further. And it's like, what are we really doing here, guys? Then the rec. I play a lot of rec every year, and next gen is by far the worst rec experience I've had in a while. Talk more about this in a minute, but you're kind of forced to make a guard just to up your chances of not getting an AI teammate who gives up buckets every time up the court, when it should be the opposite, and nobody finishes any games ever now. You also see crazy mismatches because barely anybody is in the server in the first place, and those who are all 4s and 5s. There has to be a better solution. Now, the My Player Builder was overhauled completely, and they messed that up. Yes, we were given the ability to create demigods once again, but this time around, a lot of funky stuff happened. You could straight up ignore fundamental ratings in the builder with almost no punishment in gameplay, just to be able to get your 165 badge player. And the way the system is, it funnels a lot of gamers to big men, more specifically power forwards, if you want to get the most out of the game. Why do I have to make a big man to get busy? 2K finally gave users the freedom to create whatever build they want. And what do? All create the same exact build. But honestly, we should have seen this coming. People will always gravitate towards the most OP whatever, and we're seeing it play out. Now, the gameplay is another one of the biggest disappointments. If all else fails, at least make sure your gameplay is A1, right? Between the high frequency of contact dunks over 2 or 3 defenders, completely limiting the effectiveness of interior defenders, and the lack of moves and the ease at which shooting has become makes playing the perimeter, which I had previously liked, and interior defense non-existent on next-gen consoles. It makes it so much harder for players to separate themselves. Now lastly, obviously because of the pandemic, if you wanted to buy a next-gen console, you had to go online and play the Refresh Olympics to get some of the best spots in the world. So a lot of the time we ended up with situations where one person could end up with 10 or so consoles. So Sony and Microsoft was getting their money, but not everybody was getting a console. Unless you wanted to spend $800 on StockX or risk getting robbed on Craigslist or something. So for the lucky few that did get the game, there's nobody to play. And when the biggest addition was this huge city you can explore, that's trouble. So a lot of people can't even get the game and are stuck on current gen, which creates a domino effect of, as a content creator, interest in next gen content takes a hit. As you know, because nobody even has the game, why would they want to watch the content for it? And it's still hard to get one, so I don't even know how 2K22 is going to play out. So the huge city that allows, 100 people or so in the server, don't even have that big of a player base anyway. Having more people available would have helped some of the issues online, especially with the city. Not all of them though. I lucked out by chance waking up at 6 a.m. just when Best Buy did a sneak drop to get mine. And I'm sitting here looking at my PS5 like, dang, the hype got me. Seeing things more clearly, it's not a need to have next gen 2K right now just because of the shape the online portion is in. As it's not super enjoyable and the fan base is split between current and next gen more than last time. It's weird. What do you guys think? Are you enjoying next gen? And if not, have you moved back to current? Let me know what's up. And if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so you don't miss anything we put out. All right, people, I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online. Thank you all for watching, and be good, y'all.